Hey everybody, welcome to the Geeks Rising Halloween Spectacular. Halloween's been canceled this year. You get to celebrate it with us. I hope you're ready. I hope you got some scary movies you're excited to talk about. I hope you're all getting scared. Ooh, sorry. My
That was
name
great.
is I'll go ahead and take this off so you can hear me. My name is Bandrew. I run the Bandrew Says podcast. It's part of the Geeks Rising podcast network. To over here, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what show you run?
I'm Heather, and I run the Sunshine and Power Cuts podcast.
And who are you this evening?
Hello, everybody. Oh, wait, who are you, Heather? I'm jumping the gun. Sorry.
Morticia-ish.
Morticia Adams. Excellent.
Yeah.
And then, Mummy Man.
I'm a mummy with Tourette syndrome, and I do the Tourette's podcast on the Geeks Rising network. My name's Ben.
Awesome. You look great, Ben. And
I think so too.
And I'm Zach. I'm one of the hosts of On the Subject with Logan and Malcolm. And today I'm dressed up as just stuck at home. So,
how fitting. I think everybody can relate to that, and that's a perfect costume for this time. So what I thought we would do today to start off the Halloween Spectacular is share some of our favorite horror films. I got to take this off. Otherwise I'm going to lose an eye. And hopefully that'll get you in the Halloween spirit. Maybe you got one of these sitting at home and you can throw it on tonight or tomorrow and just celebrate and get scared. I'll go ahead and start off, and then we'll just go in the same order that we just introduced ourselves. So this is a movie that has probably affected me more than any other horror film I have ever seen. It is Event Horizon. It is the first space horror film I saw. It was before I saw Alien. It's before I've seen any other space or really atmospheric horror movie. And this one is one of the scariest films I've ever seen. It still scares the pants off of me with Sam Neill saying, "Where we're going, we don't need eyes." But he says it in his accent and it makes it way creepier. And then his wife, oh my God, with her blacked out eyes. It's horrifying. If you like Alien and you want something a little bit gorier, a little bit more disturbing, you absolutely need to check out Event Horizon. I saw this in like 98. Way too young to be seeing it, but it worked for me. That's my number one. Heather, what do you got for your number one?
I have a series, but Rick, which is my favorite horror film, and I've kind of peer pressured everyone into watching it lately. I hadn't seen it, but I saw it in a shop, and I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting," and I picked it up for $6 because I like to find a bargain, and I binge watched them all. That's how good it was. It kind of feels a little bit like what's it called? That one that you guys did a thing on the subject, Resident Evil. Especially the fourth one. But yeah, I'm not a fan of handheld stuff usually, but this one works with the story, so I loved it.
Awesome.
Nice.
What about you, Ben?
So we're going around, right? We're gonna do a couple of rotations of this.
Yeah, three of them.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with one that's not my top, but is probably my number 3 legitimately. It's a movie from 1989 called Parents, directed by Bob Balaban, who is always fantastic. He's not a name everybody knows, but if you Google him, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. He was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He was in Best in Show. I think he was in some Seinfeld episodes, some early Seinfeld.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the
So
producer.
right, exactly. So he's just one of those guys. And anyway, this movie stars Randy Quaid and Mary Beth Hurt, and they're the parents to a little kid named Michael. And it centers around something I think a lot of us can relate to, and that's sort of the uneasiness around parents and their friends or adults in general when you're a kid, because it's kind of a secret world and you got all kinds of questions about it. You don't know much about it, and you get to wonder if they're doing something evil. And this movie, it's such a great setup for a movie. So it takes place in the 1950s, and it has this weird kind of dark comedy kind of feel to it, but it's definitely still a horror film, and it just has this really creepy vibe throughout. And I guess just to tease a little bit more what the movie's about, Cannibalism.
Oh, not so. Does it have any kind of Stepford Wives vibe to it?
It's got a Stepford Wives kind of vibe, but infinitely smarter and creepier. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I would write that down if I could, but afterwards I'm going to write that down and check that out. What about you, Zach?
Mine also involves cannibalism. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's called Ravenous. It's from 1999. It's about cannibals in the Sierra Nevadas during the 1800s. And it's got Guy Pearce, Robert Carlyle, and it's got like a weird, dark, comedic tone to it, but it's very creepy, and just all these great character actors in it too. Like Jeremy Davies is also in it, and half of the score is done by Damon Albarn from the Gorillaz, and the other half,
Really?
and the other half is like classically composed by I'm blanking on the guy's name, but it's weird. This weird meshing. It's very interesting. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
That sound so. As soon as you said that, I automatically started thinking about the Matt Stone, Trey Parker musical.
Like Cannibal, yeah.
Is it Cannibal the musical?
Cannibal the musical, yeah.
I don't know why. So when I watch Ravenous, I'm going to be giggling the whole time, thinking, "Oh yeah, it would be so funny if they were singing this." That's another great recommendation. Being that all of these have been so light so far, I'm gonna depress everybody with my next recommendation, Hereditary.
Ooh.
This was one of my favorite horror film, probably one of my favorite horror films of all time, but definitely my favorite film. Was it 2018 that it came out?
Yeah.
So
This is, I'm not going to give away much, but the thing that stuck out to me about this movie is that it feels so intimate. The performances are so good, and you see a family going through some horrible experiences, and watching their reactions to that, their justified reactions to that, the performances are so believable. You sit there and you're watching it, and you become uneasy because you think, I shouldn't be watching this. This is the family going through this, and I should not be here. You feel like you're in the living room, and then stuff gets wild. It gets crazy after that. But if you want, this is Ari Aster, and Ari Aster does slow burns, and he tortures you. He tortures his characters, and I don't know how long this is. 2 hours maybe, and it's 2 hours of pure dread-inducing, no jump scares. Yay! Applause for that. No jump scares. Actual horror. And it's amazing. If you want a modern, I would say, horror masterpiece, Hereditary by Ari Aster.
yeah, that movie, it's a straight delivery. That movie messed me up.
Yeah.
I've thought about it every day since I've seen it, probably.
that says something about a movie. I've thought about it every single day.
When Dory's in the chat, and she said that you just felt so deeply for all of the characters. Torturing them felt like she was being tortured.
Totally.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yes. And that's something that I've noticed about Ari Aster. I don't know how he gets these performances out of his actors, but he must actually torture them on set because the performances are so believable, and the believable performances are of these horrifying experiences. I don't know how he gets it out of them, but he somehow does. It's amazing to watch, but also terrible to watch. What's your next pick, Heather?
This was hard, but I watched 1922, and that one was quite creepy, and that one stuck with me for a while. The bit with is it the worms through the lady in the well, the wife? Ugh, just like
Yeah.
yeah, that one was horrifying, but not one that I'd watch again, but it was a good one that got me. Yeah.
Okay. And that's on Netflix. So is that still on Netflix?
I don't know.
Okay. But I
ago.
think it is. I think it was Netflix produced. So that's a great suggestion because almost everybody has Netflix, so they can just check that out. Great recommendation there. What's your next pick, Ben?
All right, so we'll go back to 1987, and we're kind of straddling the line of horror here. It was intended to be horror, but the I guess the effect of it was not too terribly horrific, and it's good to laugh at. It's a movie called well, let me just set it up. I first saw this when I was maybe 18 or 19 and has never left me. And I still have the VHS here. It's called Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Oh,
And it stars John Michael Thor, who is this sort of big muscle bound Canadian heavy metal guy and in real life. And I believe he also held the distinction of being the only person who's ever been Mr. America and Mr. Canada at the same time, the muscle pageant. So he plays the singer for a band, for like a hair metal band called Triton. And they need to record a new album, but there's like so much temptation in the city, like drugs and beer and women or whatever. So they travel out to the countryside to this big house, like a farmhouse. And that house is occupied by demons. And so the demons go to work on the band members and their girlfriends as they try to record this album. And honestly, this is like the stupidest movie ever made in the best possible way. And I only know a few other people who've seen it, but the people who see it love it forever. I can't recommend it enough. There's a full-on like music video in the storyline, and everything's totally absurd. The dialogue's hilarious, horrible accents. A guy tries to be an Australian character, I think. So Heather, you might be uniquely interested in this. But Rock and Roll Nightmare, and it has been re-released and I think remastered, and it is awful, but in the best way.
I am buying that immediately.
Please.
For two reasons. First off, as soon as you said that, I started thinking of Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Yeah.
And also I don't know if it was you who recommended it to me or if I talked to you about this and you said, "Oh, we love that movie."
Yeah.
And it was Troll 2.
Oh yeah. I used to watch that every day with my sister on Cinemax, like in the early 90s. Yeah.
So
terrible.
So based on your recommendation or knowledge of Troll 2, I'm going to check that one out. What about you, Zach?
My next one it's not straight horror. It's like a horror comedy mockumentary called Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. And it's about this journalist who gets an email from a slasher who says he's gonna like do his next like massacre soon, and she's allowed to film him and interview him while it's happening. And he shows like his training process about how like it's difficult to keep up with people but look like you're walking very slowly. Just like stuff like that. And, like training to stop your heart so it looks like you're dead. And like three quarters of it is a mockumentary, then the last quarter is like the actual slasher bit, and it's just incredibly inventive, very funny, and it's also got a small part from Zelda Rubinstein and also Robert Englund.
Sweet.
And,
nice.
Or is it just Zelda Rubens? I can't remember his last name, but
I think that's right. Yeah.
But it's really good. I watched it randomly, like on like Showtime or something years ago, and just fell in love with it.
Is that a newer movie? Because there was also that Korean zombie movie that had that one shot of the dead.
That one's great. Yeah, this one's from 2006. It's not that old. Yeah.
Nice.
One Cut of the Dead is incredible also.
Yeah, that's a great one also. Okay, right now, if you're watching live, let us know what your favorite horror movies are. Give us top 1 or top 3, whatever you want. We want to know what you're up to and what you like. This is my last one. My other ones have been actually scary and depressing. Now this is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and my sign is in reference to it. My sign says brains. And my movie is Return of the Living Dead.
Yes.
This is one of I would argue this is going to be a spicy take. I may enjoy this more than Shaun of the Dead.
I'm with you.
I may enjoy it more than Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is amazing, but this one, I can't remember the actor's name, but it's about a zombie outbreak in a town. That's all you need to know. And it has punks dancing naked in a graveyard and acid rain and whatever the main actor's name is. It's the epitome of overacting, and I'm for it the entire time. He's just screaming and crying about being in so much pain the entire time, and it's hilarious. So if you want this is right up there with Shaun of the Dead. If you like Shaun of the Dead, if you like funny zombie movies, you're gonna love Return of the Living Dead. And if you like Doug Benson, I think he was in Return of the Living Dead 2. So you can get Return of the Living Dead and Return of the Living Dead 2, and then you can get a little Doug Benson in your life if you love movies.
So the soundtrack to that movie's phenomenal. It's so good.
I'm gonna have to download it unless
It's got the Cramps, and it's such a good soundtrack. Yeah.
I have to check the soundtrack out. Awesome.
We've got a
Heather,
few
what do
in
you
the
got?
chat. We've got a
Oh,
few in the
okay.
chat. American Liberty has Exorcist 3 and
That's,
6 cents.
Exorcist 3 is so amazing.
Which I think was made in my hometown, actually. I think that was filmed in Wilmington. Yeah.
It's got the weirdest Fabio cameo.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like in a dream. It's very strange.
Good old 6 cents.
Yeah. Okay.
Bruce Willis the whole time.
Midori says, sounds like something that's inspired by Jennifer's Body. I don't know if that's Return of the Living Dead or not.
No, I think that was Ben's.
That's Ben's. Okay. And then 7, great movie.
Yes.
Great movie as well. Behind the Mask cover is unsettling.
It is.
So is that the cover of it is unsettling by itself without the movie?
Yeah, like the guy's costuming is pretty good actually. I wish they would make more of the movies. They planned a sequel, but they canceled it, but they turned it into a bad comic book.
Oh no.
Yeah.
American Liberty is pointing out Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and I definitely have to go with that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And Return of the Killer Tomatoes, with which I think was George Clooney's first movie, if I'm not
Really?
mistaken.
Oh, wow.
I think so. Yeah.
I haven't seen Return of the Killer Tomatoes. I've seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
They're both about the same, yeah.
We got Greg saying Gremlins. It's both a horror and a Christmas movie. It's my favorite in both genres. Great pick. Great pick. Amazing movie. Midori questions my judgment by saying punks dancing naked in a graveyard is better than Shaun of the Dead. Watch it, you'll understand. Watch it, and yes. Saw Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Shaun of the Dead is good. The Addams Family. Forgot what a fun feast it was.
That is fun.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Addams Family is good. I plan on watching Addams Family Values for Thanksgiving. I've been trying to find movies that exist in a certain holiday and watch those around that time frame. And Addams Family Values is apparently a Thanksgiving movie. There you go. A little bit of knowledge for you.
All right.
Heather, what's your next pick?
The next one, A Quiet Place. And I think we watched that together, and that was like, that made it even better, I think, watching it with other people.
Yeah, that one's really good. The sound design on it is incredible.
Mm-hmm. But it
Ben,
was
what
hard
about
to
you?
pick.
It was super hard to pare it down to 3. I had like a stack of 12 movies, and I forced myself only 3.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
What do you
American
got,
Liberty. Okay, so I'm going to use American Liberty as a segue here. He points out The Thing. So
Okay.
John Carpenter kind of had this like trilogy of movies, and part of that trilogy, a little bit more serious, also from 1987. My favorite horror movie ever is Prince of Darkness, written and directed by John Carpenter, who also did the original score. And it's really my favorite original score of any horror movie. And it's kind of like a complicated plot in a way, but it centers around this team of scientists who are investigating this like cylindrical tank in the basement of a church or a monastery. And it's filled with this like liquid that has powers. And they figure out that it's actually Satan. And the liquid begins escaping the tank. And then things get crazy. And it also involves this other entity called the anti-god. It's like really conceptual, I guess, in a lot of ways, but still somehow like easy to follow. And the whole movie moves with this like really cool pace. Like it keeps it moving almost like a feature-length preview. And it has this like rhythm to it. And the score from John Carpenter like really suits it well, which I think kind of speaks to the the sense of consistency when you get, one person as the writer, director, and composer, and a cameo by Alice Cooper.
Okay.
It's a really like weird movie, but it's like riveting in this weird, odd John Carpenter kind of way. It's fantastic.
Okay. I'll have to. The thing is, I've watched later John Carpenter like vampires, and I don't know. I don't know where he went off the rails. That maybe it's not a bad movie. That one just did not click for me.
Yeah.
And
Later on,
I think I have Prince of Darkness. I'll have to watch that one though.
it's good, I think.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
What do you got, Zach?
So for my last one, I was going to pick The Thing, but we're already talking about it in the comments over here. So I'm going to pivot and say From Dusk Till Dawn, which is one of my favorite vampire movies ever. It's like when I watched it as a kid. I was probably way too young, and when the vampires show up, it like blew my mind. It's cool. It's got like fun, scary moments. It's got great action. Another George Clooney movie. And yeah, it's just a ton of fun. And Robert Rodriguez has like a weird filmography, but he's also got like 3 of my favorite movies ever. That and like Desperado are 2 of them.
Yeah, Dusk Till Dawn. I saw that probably around the time that it came out. Again, probably too young to be seeing it, but at the beginning, you don't know it's a vampire movie. Yeah. You're like, oh, these guys are just jerks. They hijack this RV. Oh, they're hanging out at some shady bar. Oh, what just happened? Excuse me. Wait, what's the best line from George Clooney in that movie? Crazy people don't explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give an F how crazy they are. Something like that.
So many good lines, like when he's talking to the preacher, and he's like asking if he's like a bad mother effer. He's like, say the word. It's really good.
Nice.
All right. Let's see what chat has. Midori says she watched The Thing and the remake this last weekend. Does that mean the original It Came from Outer Space? I think that was the original Thing. Or do you mean the Kurt Russell Thing and then the 2000 whatever remake? Let me know.
The Mary Elizabeth Winstead one?
Yeah. Can we see Bander flip the switch on his mic? No, you cannot. Cool Mark D says sounds like a Grant Morrison book.
There was a comment that you should keep the blades away from the XLR mics, though.
It's turning into an ASMR video. You're welcome.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You need to
whoever said that in the comments. It seems like there's a lot of talk about Prince of Darkness. Once upon a time in Mexico.
Say thanks, Midori, for. Yeah, I saw the question from American Liberty. Yes, thanks, Midori. Prince of Darkness.
We should do a watch together. We should find a way to legally do a watch together of Prince of Darkness. That would be super fun.
It would be.
Midori is working on a rewatch of season 2 of What We Do in the Shadows. Has everybody here seen the What We Do in the Shadows movie?
Oh yeah.
I've seen the movie, not the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the show either. Have any of you seen the show?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
It's as good, sometimes better than the movie.
Really? That's high praise because that movie is amazing.
They were filming like a sequel to What We Do in the Shadows in Wellington, and I wanted to go down and see that so bad because you got to go on the set and everything.
Do they make a lot of movies in New Zealand?
They make some.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was like a... Sometimes it seems like when they make the movie in New Zealand, I guess I'm guessing that it's just for the environment and for the look of it, but I didn't know if they had some like film incentive thing going and that's a popular thing or what.
Yeah, they oh my gosh. New Zealand on Air, I think, is part of the Film Commission for New Zealand, and they promote lots of people making films and stuff.
Cool. Where was Dead Alive made? Was that New Zealand? That was Peter Jackson. Yeah.
And what was his first movie? Bad Taste.
Bad Taste.
Have you seen that one? That one's
Yes.
insane.
Yeah, that movie's nuts.
It's amazing watching his early movies and then realizing, oh, he went on to win an Academy Award. You would never expect it from Bad Taste and what was the one you just said? I'm sorry.
Dead Alive.
Dead Alive, yeah. The lawnmower.
I remember like the warning label that was on the VHS, and it had something. I couldn't tell if they were making it up, but it was like Guinness World Record most blood in a single movie or something like that. And
Yeah,
it was from the lawnmower scene. Yeah.
absolutely makes sense. Mark brings up Wellington Paranormal. What would be
Wellington?
That's a fun
great if
one.
Wellington Paranormal makes it to the States legally.
It's
Oh, was it
fun.
crazy? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's the cops from What We Do in the Shadows.
Hmm.
And so they're on their own thing.
it's really funny.
It's a really good show. Luckily, I have a region-free Blu-ray player, so I bought the series of Wellington Paranormal, and it's great. If you get a chance to see that one.
Nice. Nice.
All right, I think we're all caught up on comments. What do you say we jump to some Halloween trivia
Boy.
and jokes and all the fun stuff? Brought to you by Heather.
So Halloween seems like more of an American thing than it is a New Zealand thing. It's not something that I really grew up with, and it's sort of more in the stores now. But do you know which country Halloween originated in?
Transylvania. Super-
Halloween. I don't know. England? Germany? Romania?
It was a festival sort of by another name called Samhain.
Oh, the Samhain. Yes, Samhain. That's I can't do any better than that.
I have no idea.
Ireland.
Ireland.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I want to look that up. I'm confused now. I want to know. I need to find an Irish person. Is Halloween big in Ireland?
I got some Irish family over there.
Yeah.
More of like a pagan thing. Like the last 2 years I went to Samhain parties instead of Halloween parties. It's
Okay.
like there's a lot of like burning stuff and like putting your thoughts out into the world, like making it very interesting.
Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
That could also be completely inaccurate to what Samhain actually is. But
Oh, that's the Americanized version of Samhain.
Speaking of like Halloween things, Dracula. Do you know the name of Dracula's sidekick?
Igor.
Renfield
Zach got it.
Renfield, yes.
makes you
Wait,
think of
Dracula, not Frankenstein.
just
Frankenstein.
makes me think of Dracula Dead and Loving It. My favorite line in that is when he's dreaming that he can eat regular food. Renfield, I'm drinking wine and eating chicken. It's really dumb.
Leslie Nielsen.
I miss him.
God, I miss him. Yeah.
Midori says Zach going to the hipster Halloween gatherings.
It's true.
Yeah.
Liberty's put about a bonfire. Do you know from which words did bonfire originate?
I do actually. Is it bonefire? Because it's like they would burn bodies or something. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
brutal.
yeah.
Is that in Ireland as well?
I'm not sure on that one.
The Irish just burning bodies?
I think it's actually like an English, maybe like northern thing.
Oh, okay.
Not sure though.
I mean, when you run out of firewood, got to do something, right?
It's supposed to like cleanse the body. It's like,
Okay. So it's more of like a ritualistic thing as opposed to a necessity thing.
Yes, Cool Mark D. Sam Hain is a band I really enjoyed way back in the day with Mr. Glenn Danzig.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Between Misfits and Danzig name. Yeah.
I've recently got into Misfits. Before I think 2019 or maybe even 2020, I had never listened to Misfits, and
The original Misfits stuff's great.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
amazing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also with Sam Hain, the drummer was Lyle Preslar from Minor Threat, which a lot of people don't seem to know. It seems like a different camp of people, but it's true.
Was Bill Stevenson in Minor Threat as well? Because Bill Stevenson
No.
seems to have been a drummer in everything.
No,
He was Black Flag.
he was in Black Flag.
That's what it was.
Descendants, all yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a joke.
Okay.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the party?
Because he was flesh out of. I have no idea. What is it?
He didn't have pockets to put a car key in.
He had no body to go with.
Oh.
Better than I could have imagined. That's great.
Flesh out of costume ideas is genius, though, Ben. That's how hard it's done, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark says he was bone tired. Gosh.
So, do you guys carve, or have you in the past carved pumpkins at Halloween?
In the past, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't for a few years, but yeah.
Do you
Same.
know where pumpkins came from in the world?
Hmm.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say Turkey.
So who's
I don't know why.
who's got the gourds?
So,
Is that is this Ireland again, or is this the U.S.?
It says Central America. So
Central
I don't know
America.
where exactly there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mexico.
Yeah.
There's some movie trivia questions too. Do you know, and maybe Zach might know this one, maybe, who was the first actor to play Wolfman?
is that? Okay. I get all those old classic actors mixed up, like Lon Chaney and is it Lon Chaney?
Good
Oh,
job.
nice.
Good job.
Well done, Zach.
Was he the man of 1,000 faces? I can't remember.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I don't know any of the nicknames or anything.
Mhm.
Was he the Invisible Man?
I can't remember.
Okay.
He was a lot of things, but I don't know
Was
specifically.
he 1,000 things?
With the Invisible Man, I can't ever remember. Was the character's name Claude Rains or was the actor's name Claude Rains?
That sounds like his name. I just watched it. I should know, but I've forgotten already. Like the beautiful thing about those early movies is they're so short, but you don't have enough time to really get to know the characters before it's over.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. You can just be like, I have an hour and 20 minutes to kill. Oh, I can watch one of these movies. It's perfect.
The original like black and white Invisible Man's horrific. It's great.
Yeah. It's and the effects are surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Considering it's 32 or 34, whenever it was. Lon Chaney Jr.
Hmm.
Then Jay Rays asks a question of all of us. Has anyone watched the new Pet Cemetery?
I've not.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I have.
Anybody in the chat? Oh, what do you think?
Stick with the original one. Stick with the original one. I mean, it's fine. I can't remember the main actor's name. No matter what role he plays, his eyes always seem to be pure black.
Yeah.
And he just looks insane. And he plays that part so well. But I think the original Pet Cemetery it's gonna be the one to go with. It's not an Evil Dead situation where it's like, oh, the new one is great too. It's not like that at all. But
hard
I
to-
mean,
It's
if
hard
you're a
to
completionist,
monster.
Okay.
I'm thinking of what the guy's name is from the New Pet Cemetery. Like I was just talking about him yesterday with Malcolm. He was in Terminator Genesis. He was in Zero Dark Thirty.
That's what he is.
He was in-
Yeah, he's the new Terminator, right?
He was John Connor in the second to last one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Have a good rest of your night, cool Mark D. Have a
Thanks, Cool
safe
Mark D.
Halloween.
Thanks for chatting.
Do you want another joke?
Let's hear a joke.
Absolutely.
What? This is quite relevant for today. Why was the baby ghost sad?
Because
Something about Boo. I don't know.
I don't know.
He wanted his mummy.
God, right in front of me.
It was right under your nose. That's great.
I like these jokes. These are good.
Yay. Yay. Another trivia question. Apparently in 2004, the city of Hollywood banned the use of what party item on Halloween?
Party item.
Hmm
Hmm.
Something that you'd have at a party to decorate or something.
Confetti?
Were people like using like real bones or something?
Oh God, that's morbid.
Like what was? Yeah, what,
Like the city of Los Angeles rampant. Hey, stop like using human bones as decoration.
the health department had to weigh in.
I saw an article, I don't know if it's true though, but there was someone who's decorated their yard with quite realistic, gory looking setup, and the cops have been called to it. I don't know if that's true or not, but, yeah. But apparently it was silly string. They banned silly string.
Does it say why?
No, but I imagine it, I don't know.
It's terrible for the environment.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
pretty not friendly.
That's why I thought glitter, because like that stuff doesn't go away ever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kind of related story. Only related because this band was called the Scaries. My old band used to tour with this band called the Scaries, and they were really into antics and like, you know, writing on each other's faces while they were asleep, that kind of thing. And at one point, the lead singer Mike was asleep, and the guitarist Bill took like this whole huge like knot of glitter and just like threw it at his face, and it didn't come off for the rest of the tour. So he had to go on stage every night like David Bowie, and like a month.
Oh my gosh.
Glitter does not come off.
Do you guys know who buys the most glitter? Like what company or whatever?
The NFL?
No. It's the United States military.
What?
Yeah.
What do they do
Why?
with
Why
glitter?
is that?
They won't say. I assume it's something with like anti like attack stuff, maybe.
Okay. Gotcha.
Found that out like a year or so ago.
Yes,
That's
Midori,
interesting.
it didn't come off for a month.
Jeez.
Greg's got
We
one
have-
in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a trivia question from Greg in the chat. He says, "What vegetable was originally used as the jack-o'-lantern?"
Watermelon? That's not a vegetable. Never mind.
I bet something small.
Oh gosh, a yam, maybe. That's like it-
Jack-o'-lantern.
Maybe like a potato or something.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've got nothing.
I give up.
A turnip.
Oh, that's a very small jack-o'-lantern.
Nice.
Awesome.
Here's
that's
a
good one.
here's a movie one. In Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how many people are killed with a chainsaw?
I think it's 5.
Is it
6.
zero?
0 is like a trick question? No.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen that in
Is
so
it-
long. I just won.
Only one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I don't believe that trivia at all. No, there's no way.
Prove me
There's
wrong.
no way.
What's
Prove
the
me
cause of
wrong.
death for the others?
I
One
didn't
is
listen.
hung on the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't somebody smashed with a hammer?
Oh yeah. And
So there's a
then
lot of death, but not by stretcher.
what happens to the guy in the wheelchair?
Oh, I don't remember. God, it's been so long.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to rewatch that one. And don't watch the one with Jessica Biel in it. It's too polished.
Midori's got a trivia question. What is the most expensive horror movie ever produced?
Troll 2.
If only. Oh gosh, most expensive horror movie ever produced. I would say, oh gosh, maybe some kind of Freddy sequel.
That's what I was thinking. Like the remake, maybe.
Yeah.
Leprechaun in Space.
All the budget went to that scene where he like grows in size.
Yeah, I don't think it would be Freddy. That's what I want to say. I don't think it would be a Freddy movie. I don't think even Jason in Space. I don't think those ever got like more than $5 million, and that can't be the highest budget. It's not gonna. Blair Witch is the cheapest. Paranormal Activity is another extremely cheap one.
I think maybe like an M. Night movie. Oh wow!
Oh, what the Happening or The Village? Maybe is The Village.
I don't think they're actually expensive now that I think about it.
Okay, Midori says
Van Helsing.
2004 Van Helsing, $222 million.
Yeah,
Wow.
They spent a big portion of that on developing a TV show, like making sets that they never used.
Really?
Yeah, because the movie did so poorly.
Oh, and World War Z was a runner-up with $201 million. My gosh. I guess I gave away the answer already. What's the cheapest horror movie of all time? Or I guess I shouldn't say the cheapest horror movie, but the most profitable horror movie of all time.
Is that the first Paranormal Activity?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I really liked part 3 a lot. It was good.
I don't remember part 3.
That's the one that takes place like in the 80s, and it's kind of like a throwback kind of. It was good though. It wasn't cheesy.
It's about it's about like the two sisters when they're little kids, right?
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. Where do ghosts buy their Halloween candy? This is a joke from Greg. Where do ghosts buy their Halloween candy?
I'm so bad at like guessing these.
I'm going through all the Halloween in my head right now, trying to find something that matches.
I got nothing. I'm so bad at these riddle dad joke things. So bad at them. Anyone else got any guesses? Or are we just all terrible at these? I think we're all bad at them, Greg. Lay it on us. Grocery store.
Oh, I love it.
I'm definitely not flipping you off right now for that one. Okay, here's just a question for everybody in the chat and in the stream. Who is your favorite modern horror monster? Between Jason, Freddy, let's throw in Leatherface as well, and who else would we need to include?
Michael
Myers, yeah.
What about Chucky?
Chucky, okay. Yeah, we'll throw in Chucky.
Good old Chuckster.
Chucky. I heard the best description of Chucky. Chucky is the F-boy of the horror genre. It's like, yeah, that's about right.
So, I think Freddy's the best one, but my favorite is Jason. Like, cause he's the first one I ever watched, and I just like those movies so much. I don't know, like I feel like they're the weakest of like the three big main series, but he's got a special place in my heart.
I'm with you on Jason, and it's because the first one, which doesn't even have Jason.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Of all of the original, like the first installments of those, I like the original Friday the 13th the most because I love camp horror,
Yeah.
and I also like the whole whodunit kind of
Mhm.
aspect to it. Even though it's not good. It's not good, but gosh darn it if it is not fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, Freddy's great, but it just doesn't do it for me. It's not as believable. It's just, I don't know. For
Yeah.
me, it's Jason as well.
The dream stuff doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I don't dream, so that's why. Or at least I don't remember them.
I do, but they're way scarier than those movies.
Maybe you need to make some horror movies, Zach. Oh yeah, Freddy. That's child's play.
I'll go Michael. I think
Yeah, Michael's
Okay.
creepy. That like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well done.
rewatched that last weekend. It's so good.
Okay, and
Gamer.io is with you. In the
what was that,
chat.
Heather?
Gamer.io is in the chat and agrees with Ben. Michael Myers.
Okay.
Michael's solid.
Ooh, Midoriya's a good one. She says the cursed monster and It Follows.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That movie's incredible.
Yeah. Or Annabelle. Okay.
I thought
Annabelle didn't do it for me.
Mhm.
I liked this. I don't know if this is contemporary, but the original Black Christmas, the dude in the walls, like that's
Oh yeah.
that kind of freaked me out.
Yes. that I watch that every single Christmas.
Yeah.
I love Black Christmas. I just last year I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
And I have all of them on my calendar this year, doing all of the Christmas horror movies. I got Krampus in there,
Nice.
all of them.
I love that Black Christmas was the same guy who did A Christmas Story.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, what's his name? Gene. I forget his name. Same guy. and the guy who sells the Christmas trees in A Christmas Story is the dude who works at the telephone company in Black Christmas.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's amazing. Heather, which modern horror monster is your favorite?
I don't know.
The Zombies in Wreck?
Yeah, they're quite fun. I have to say I liked the lady who was the zombie thing in The Haunting of Bly Manor that I watched, and not a lot of people like that because they reckoned it could have been shorter and it just dragged on a bit too long. But I quite liked it as a gothic romance story, and I like the lady in that because as her memory kind of fades or whatever, she's just wrote doing the same thing and her face disappears, like the features of her face disappear, and I don't know. Yeah.
Have you seen Crimson Peak? Who does that? Is that Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
And it's kind of that gothic romance, if I'm remembering correctly.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Have you guys seen Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. So there's one line in Sleepaway Camp number 2 that I never knew what movie it was from. I used to listen to this straight edge band called Casey Jones, and they start out one of their songs with let this be a lesson no. You should have learned your lesson. Drugs killed your sister. Let this be a lesson. Say no to drugs. and if you've seen all the Sleepaway Camps, you know this scene. It's a set of twins, and the counselor doesn't like. She's a Puritan, and has a barbecue. And it's from that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Midori's... Oh, sorry. You go.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say about the Haunting of Bly Manor. Midori said, she's the embodiment of pure anger, not remembering what triggered her. Totally more of a romance story.
Okay.
Mike Flanagan is like one of the best horror creators working nowadays. He did The Blind Manor. He did like Hush, the Ouija origin movie, which is actually way better than it had any right to be.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He also did Doctor Sleep. I think that's probably his biggest thing he's done.
Okay, so what were the thoughts on Doctor Sleep?
I really liked it. Like, if you separate it from The Shining, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
see it.
I'm right there with you.
You should watch the director's cut if you can.
All right.
How long is the director's cut? Is that like a 4-hour movie?
Yeah, it's close. I think it's like 20 to 30 minutes longer.
Midori says Hush was wild. It seems like there's been a couple of these. Was Hush the one where the main actor or the main character was deaf?
Yeah, and she's like a writer, and the guy's breaking into her house.
Okay. Yeah, that one was great. That was a
Mhm.
great one.
I think that's like one of the first things I saw of his. Just, like, instantly. Like, hell yeah.
Because there was that. There was like
Quiet Place?
A Quiet Place. There was
Don't
the one where the kids don't breathe. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Like all of these sensory deprivation type movies that play off the loss of a single sense. It's really cool.
Yeah. Don't Breathe is really good, minus like one very problematic plot element. But
Oh, well, yeah. That's a rather disturbing film when you get towards the end.
yeah.
Yeah, quite problematic, I would say.
Very good still though.
Okay, what is everyone's favorite horror film weapon / prop? This comes from Greg.
I think off the top of my head, I think mine is. I think it's from Friday the 13th Part 6. The gate like spike that Tommy Jarvis stabs into Jason, and then it brings him back to life.
Yeah.
And then he uses it for like most of the movie.
Watching the beginning of that was maddening. Just set him on fire. Why are you stabbing him with his big thing? You know it's gonna get struck by lightning, man. Stop it. I would say probably for me, Leatherface's chainsaw. And the reason I'm picking that is I like the idea of being able to hear it and this sense of impending doom just as it gets closer and closer and you hear it start up. You're like, oh my God, no. Here it is. I hear my death coming. It seems so horrifying. That'd be my pick. What about you? Heather, you got one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of thinking,
You're good. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
just like thinking about like the Omen movies. I'm kind of thinking like The Brain, like how he can just kind
Okay.
of like look at somebody and get them to do something. That's kind of cheap though. I got to think of something else, like something physical.
Which Omen movie was it where like there's a guy in an elevator and it starts to crash when it stops and like the wire comes down and just rips him in half?
That
remember
is that part? Is that one of the old ones? Is that part 2?
I think so. I think it's part 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Neill was in 3, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. hmm He was in the Omen 3. That's right. It takes place at like a military school or something.
Something like that. And then he becomes president.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really weird. Sam
like-
Neill has a surprising track record with horror.
I
Mhm.
like him.
He did I think it was John Carpenter. That really bizarre movie where he's an author and he goes into multiple dimensions.
Oh, that's
And
In the Mouth of Madness. Is that
That's
what
it.
it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the Mouth of Madness. That movie is insane.
Yeah.
And that was Sam Neill, right?
That was Sam Neill, and it
Yeah.
also has. It's the only other time I've ever seen the guy who plays Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 in a movie. He plays like a country dude or something.
Sam Neill was also in, was it Possession? Is that what it's called? Have you guys ever
That
watched
sounds right, yeah.
That's one of the weirdest, greatest movies ever.
What's the worst horror movie you've ever seen? Like you just like you thought it was gonna not like a bad movie, but you thought it was gonna be
Okay.
good, and you watched it and you're like, this is awful.
So, can I cheat and say Troll 2? Because I
Sure.
know that's a bad movie, but I watched Troll 1 thinking, oh, yeah, this is going to, it's
Yeah.
like a cheesy 80s horror movie. Cool.
Like nothing to do with each
It
other.
was fun. And then I put on Troll 2 because I bought the box set. And then I was legitimately angry.
Yeah.
Like, this has nothing to do with the first one. What the hell is happening? It's not
That
even
movie's garbage.
Troll? It's not even trolls. I was legitimately angry. So it was probably the biggest bait and switch. Okay, Greg, we're in a fight now. He says My Bloody Valentine was horrible. Shh. Shh.
Did they remake My Bloody Valentine, or is that
They did.
okay.
3D
Haven't seen the remake.
Saints and Ackles.
Yeah,
You
I
guys-
really enjoyed that one. Sorry, Heather, go.
Sorry. Have you seen the Babysitter? And then there's the new one of the Babysitter that just came. I don't know if it's just came out or whatever, but I watched that one recently, and yeah,
I
The
haven't seen that.
the Netflix Babysitter was really good. That's the one with was it Samara Weaving? I think that's
Yeah.
her name. Yeah. She's great. She's great in everything that she does. Was
Yeah,
was the original one the same story?
I don't so the first one, well, of those ones anyway, I don't know how many there are, but the one where she's like, you get to meet her in the Babysitter, and then the next one is a follow-on 2 years later of him, like the boy, and no one believes his story, and it was
Oh,
just a little bit painful and slow, and then way too cheesy, and the ones that he killed off, the spoilers, came back.
Oh my god.
Sorry, that was terrible.
Oh, to talk about Troll 2. Oh my god.
I think one of the biggest letdowns for me was the third Cloverfield movie, Cloverfield
Yes.
Paradox.
I didn't
Oh,
see
okay.
that.
I thought you were saying Cloverfield Lane.
Oh,
Like
no,
that was great.
I
You're
love that.
crazy.
I love that one.
Okay.
That's part of why I was let down with the third one.
Okay, absolutely. Agreed. Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox was like a crappy version of life.
Yeah.
And life wasn't good to begin with. And I'm talking about the movie, not my existence. Mom, I'm okay.
The last scene made me laugh out loud. In Cloverfield Paradox, it's like the reveal of the monster. It was so dumb. Brightburn was also a really bad one.
See, I actually kind of enjoyed Brightburn.
Okay.
I kind of it could be that I am just completely burned out on superheroes, so the idea of
Yeah,
an evil superhero was like, oh, cool. Maybe. I don't know.
I think that show The Boys does the same thing but better.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not horror though. That's comedy, satire, whatever.
Yeah.
I got a couple, I think. One was I get these like haunting movies mixed up, but the one with Virginia Madsen, I think that was like a haunting in Connecticut or something. That movie was awful. It was so dumb, and like it had like this promise in the beginning, but like, you know, it's sort of like when the plot starts to like divulge itself and the exposition happens, it's the dumbest thing ever. But the other would be that movie The Haunting, the one with like Catherine Zeta-Jones and Owen Wilson, and
Yeah.
my sister saw that in the theaters, and she said, like, at the end where what's her name is like, you know, I'm home, Grandpa, or whatever.
Yeah.
She said this dude who was sitting in the front got up and goes, "This is stupid," and left the theater, and everybody clapped.
That just triggered something in my brain. I just rewatched this. This is a horror movie. It has Matthew Lillard. I love Matthew Lillard. 13 Ghosts. One of the worst, not just one of the worst horror movies, one of the worst movies ever made.
I saw that, yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
It does have one of my favorite visual gags though, when the lawyer gets cut in half by the door.
Oh, yeah.
Lillard says, "I guess he had to split." So dumb.
What about you, Heather? Do you have a favorite or a worst horror movie that you've ever seen? Or the biggest letdown?
Uh, I didn't enjoy the second babysitter one like as much. I think the first one was better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check. American Liberty, talking about people getting cut in half. Ghost Ship. Have you
Yeah.
all seen that one? Where a wire kills everyone except for the girl. I'm gonna be vulnerable with all of you. I love Ghost Ship. I love that movie, and I also love Virus with with Jamie Lee Curtis,
Oh, I
where
remember
she's
Virus,
on a
yeah.
ship and a virus gets downloaded, and then the ship turns into a giant machine trying to kill her. I love them. I used to have those on VHS, and I would watch them all the time.
Greg
Well-
asked if we have a favorite death scene in a horror film.
Oh God. So this is cliche. This is a lot of people's answer, but probably I don't remember which Friday the 13th it is.
The first
It's
one, I
when
think.
it's the sleeping bag kill.
Oh,
Oh, I was thinking of a different one. Okay, cool.
that's 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah. The sleeping bag kill where Jason just grabs a girl in a sleeping bag and just starts hitting her against the tree. It's insanity. They get bizarre. What about you, Zach?
Off the top of my head, I think from the first Wishmaster, there's like a scene in a police station where a cop wishes this criminal, like he wishes he had the chance to kill him. So the Wishmaster, like the genie, like lets the criminal break free and he starts killing everybody. But he sticks his hand in someone's mouth, just rips their jaw off.
Oh my God.
It's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
Wow. I'm gonna say, actually, I think it's in the first Friday the 13th where someone gets like ripped through a mail slot at the very. I think it's at the very end, right? Like the mom, maybe, or like somebody gets like pulled through a mail slot, and it's like
Oh.
happens super fast.
That's a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I was
pretty
like, I don't think that was Friday the 13th. That was kind of grounded. At least on the first one, at least. Okay. Heather, do you have one?
Yeah, so Rick 3, I think it is, where they're at the wedding. A long time ago, a question was about if I'd be able to survive this zombie apocalypse. And this movie made me realize that I have lots of household appliances that would work to get rid of zombies. I use a stick blender in the face of someone. It's
Oh.
just wonderful. Yeah.
I don't think we could have ended on a better question. That was amazing. We're an hour, and I think we're going to wrap up. So I want to thank all of you for coming by. I want to pass it around in the way that we introduced ourselves so everybody can plug their podcast. I highly recommend you check it out because all of them make amazing shows. Heather, where can people find what you work on?
At sunshineandpowercuts.com or on social media at sunpowerpod. And I made a top favorite things of October if you want to chill out with something less stressful tonight.
Awesome. Absolutely. And that's a great plug. On this channel that you're watching this video, we've been doing favorite things of each month as a little ray of light, trying to make some positivity because everything's been bonkers and crazy and everybody's losing their darn mind. So a little 5-minute break, check out some of our favorite things, and Heather always includes a nice bonus thing, which is always super fun. Ben, where can people find Tourette's Podcast?
At Tourette'sPodcast.com or GeeksRising.com. Yeah, those are the two main places you can find it. Or at Tourette.org, the sponsor of Tourette's Podcast. And yeah, ooh, and I'm just seeing Midori's comment about Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, there's a lot of great kills in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Unicorn kill automatically
yeah.
comes to mind.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Zach, where can people find your show?
You can find us at On the Subject. You can find us on Geeks Rising. We're currently covering Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies because of like just a dumb joke. but this month, or November, we're also going to start covering just like the Mandalorian show just for fun because we have like extra time to do that.
Well, if you have extra time, I know one movie that needs to be reviewed that Logan is pushing back on. He's saying, no, I won't do it. It starts with spice, ends with world.
All about that. That movie's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our problem
Pass.
is it's hard to find it.
I will find I will find 8 copies, and we will all watch it together, and we can write a big blog post. We'll write a thorough analysis.
Let's do it.
All right. If you want to find my show, it's the Bander Says podcast, bandersays.com, or check out all the shows. There's links and posts, geeksrising.com. I hope you all have a safe Halloween. If you are going out, wear a mask. Just throw a mask on over it. Do whatever you want, or just hide inside, watch some horror movies. We gave you 12 of them. Super duper. All right, I got to take this off so I can end the stream, but thank you guys so much for coming by. Happy Halloween, and we'll be back next year with another Halloween live stream. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.